Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, March 6th, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is, as above, so below, I find my balance and I glow. And holy cow, today is a major astro day. We have Uranus moving into Taurus, which I will go into a little bit, but I'm really going to focus on that tomorrow because we got a while to go with Uranus hanging out in the sign of Taurus. The most immediate thing, the thing that calls our presence overall, is the new moon today. Happy new moon. New moon is an opportunity to set intentions, to really work with the universe. The reason why it's powerful to set intentions with the new moon is because the sun and the moon are aligned. They are at the same degree. So they are at 15 degrees in Pisces. Now, making this a super duper intention setting, make a wish, bring in what you want, new moon energy, is the fact that we have all of this conjunct Neptune and Vesta. Now, it's not exact. We have the new moon at 15 degrees, right at the edge of 15 degrees, and then we have Neptune and Vesta hanging out at 16 degrees, but still, it's like, boom. I've been saying this for days, but I'm going to reiterate it. I used to work for Soul Garden, and Master One Feather was there at Soul Garden, and he, as a divine sage Pisces himself, said that when the sun meets up with Neptune once a year, once a year this happens, it's a day to make a wish, because Neptune, among all of its work, can represent miracles and magic, you know, and you might as well go a little bit into fantasy and make a wish. So we have the sun, the moon, Neptune, and then we have Vesta. And Vesta reminds us of the divinity that we are. Vesta is a call to know ourselves as our soul, as our light, as our wholeness, as our holiness. It is the priest or priestess incarnate, which you are. You bring that level of divinity with you. So it's like, okay, I grew up Catholic. You know, in Catholic religion, you know, the priest is your conduit to God, universe. God, as they want to call it there, to God and Jesus. And the Pope, they intercede for you. But I believe we are all given that power, and Vesta confirms that. So Vesta's like, hey, go straight to the universe with what it is you desire. I also mentioned this week that I think this is a time, I don't know if I said this in here or on my Patreon actually, but I'm going to say it here. This is a time to utilize this energy from your highest self, from your highest consciousness. One of the things that keeps running through my mind is the Sanskrit mantra, Om Bhavam Namah. I am absolute existence. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the universe. You know, remembering, Rumi verse, you are the soul of the universe, and your name is love. Remembering that and letting that be your platform from which you set your intentions for the highest and best good of anyone. There's definitely a very strong level of divinity. There's a lot of universal support in this new moon, and I suggest you utilize it. Now, what I love about this new moon, the peak of the new moon happens at 8:04 a.m. Pacific time, but right after that, the moon meets up with Neptune at 8:47 a.m. Pacific time. That's how close the moon and Neptune are in this divine conjunction. And then later in the day, right around 5 p.m., the sun meets up with that Neptune energy. So we have a real extended peak of like high vibrational divinity energy. As above, so below, I find my balance and I glow. Please utilize that energy. Find your balance with your spiritual self. Bring it to your physical self and make a wish from there. So, Sabian symbol. The Sabian symbol is really, really interesting to me. At first when I read it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it really does make sense. I really believe that we are spirits in a material world. To quote Sting, I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So, Pisces, 15 degrees, is an officer instructing his men before a simulated assault under a barrage of live shells. When I read that, I was like, war? What? What is it good for? But what really ended up pulling me in is that I feel like sometimes being a spiritual being on this planet, in this society, can feel like an assault. It can be an assault to the sensitive, to your sensitivities, to your emotions. You're told what to think, how to think it, where to show up, how long you need to show up, and we don't always honor ourselves as that spiritual being. We do not always honor ourselves as the priest and priestess energy. And so, you know, this is reminding us, this existence is not necessarily easy, and it can feel like a barrage. But I feel like the next symbol for 16, which we have Neptune and Vesta hanging out, gives us the remedy, the elixir. Pisces, 16 degrees. In the quiet of his study, a creative individual experiences a flow of inspiration, reliance upon one's inner source of inspiration or guidance, being in your own energy, knowing who you are, spending time in that, away from that outside assault, reconnecting to spirit, reconnecting to the spirit within you. That's something that we all need, and that's key to bringing about that divine self, to really stepping into that energy, and to bringing about your wish, your desire, that which you're calling into your life from your highest self and for the highest good of all. So I think that's a really strong message for all of us. Don't get too sucked in to what can feel like such an assault. Make sure to spend time with and of yourself to support yourself. So that being said, new moon energy. Wow. Last thing I want to mention about that, Neptune. Neptune can put us in a daydream-like state. Lucy in the sky with diamonds, you know? Yes. That being said, I think it's a good thing. I think we spend so much time in the rational that we need a little time to not know. Because it's those times where we don't know and things turn out good or even better than we expected that reminds us of faith. And faith is also one of those divine premises that we want in our foundation, because as much as we know, we don't know everything. So remember that through the day. If you're feeling foggy, revel in the fog. Be like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I trust universe, you've got really good things planned for me. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Uranus in Taurus. Like I said, over the next few days, I'm going to go in and keep pulling out. So we had an experience of Uranus in Taurus last year, May 15th, 2018 through November 16th. We had Uranus hanging out in Taurus. So we got a taste of what that was going to feel like. And we definitely experienced some earth changes, especially Hawaii. I think that's a really big thing that happens during Uranus and Taurus. Earth changes. Uranus is traditionally ruled, or not Uranus, sorry. Taurus is traditionally ruled by the planet Venus, but I also believe that Taurus really corresponds with Earth. If you've ever met a Taurus, they are so connected to Earth things, whether it's food or like pleasurable things like, no, I'm not going to go into that, or even just all Tauruses I know are such avid outdoors people, or people who have really strong Taurus. Taurus is so connected to that earth element. So changes in the physical earth is definitely possible. Uranus is one of my superhero agents of change on a planetary level. I call Uranus and Pluto both the superhero agents of change. So both of them bring about change. Uranus brings about revolution, evolution, shift. It can be spontaneous. Uranus can be very spontaneous. Uranus is very stimulating to the body, to the nervous system. It can be very stimulating to the sign of Taurus, to the earth energy. Speaking of change, Uranus has basically spent the last 8 years in the sign of Aries. So just to get an idea of the change. How have you changed in your I am energy and how you go about things since 2011? I'm sure a lot of you have gone through many changes that have brought you closer to your spiritual selves in these last 8 years. Aries, while it embodies the I am, one of the things I talk about is the truest energy of the I am energy is the level of the soul, really knowing yourself. And so Uranus in Aries has been like pulling that up for Chiron to get its hands on, to do some healing over these next several years on that level. So how have you changed, and where have you felt like you've broken through, or your soul has broken through? That's definitely Uranus at work in Aries. So we get to do this on the Taurus level now. The biggest thing that I look at Taurus is, besides the earth stuff, is the energy of worth and our gifts and money. And I think those are going to be really big things that come up in all of our lives over the next 7-8 years. So it's really a good time to be very aware, where are you at in regards to your worth? Now, I've been talking about this a lot. I talk about it with Venus a lot. Venus in Aquarius is reminding us of the places in ourselves where we may disregard some parts of ourselves, and where we do not find necessarily the worth in various parts of ourselves, to bring up those freak flag places, those different places, and know the worth. I think that this is going to be something that's continued with Uranus, which rules Aquarius, in the sign of Taurus. What is that called? Mutual, words are so hard, Mercury is retrograde, mutual, it's not reciprocity, receptivity, mutual receptivity, as we have. Okay, let me try to see if I can explain this easily. Uranus rules Aquarius, and Venus rules Taurus. So the sign that rules Aquarius is in the sign of Taurus, or the planet that rules Aquarius is in the sign of Taurus, and the planet that rules Taurus is in the sign of Aquarius. So we have a lot of feedback going on. This is a really good time to really dig in, do the work, make sure you are liking and loving those parts of yourselves. I actually pulled specific cards in regards to having Uranus in Taurus. The first card that came through, breakthrough, revolution, awareness, peeling the layers to your truest self, knowing the work or the worth of your truest self, but it's also about bringing forth your gifts and talents. For many of you, this includes your inner voice, your higher self, your psychic inclinations, getting in touch with those places within you and letting that yin move you forward. Taurus is a very yin sign, so Venus and Earth, so yin, pulling you forward to know that part of yourself. And I have the Lover's card. Very nice. But this to me, was about seeing these together, pulling forth your gifts, that which you love to do, these things that have been hidden inside, your hidden creativities, bringing those forth so that you can really love your life. I don't know. That's the overall feeling. I mean, these are very, very positive cards. My feeling is if you're listening to yourself and moving in regards to that, this is going to be a really positive shift for you. So I'm going to leave that there for now, and then over the next few days, keep digging into Uranus and Taurus. I'm also going to do probably a longer thing about it on my Patreon if you are interested. Alright, so besides those two major things today, which definitely is going to bring a lot of change, you may feel wonky, like I said, your nervous system may have some spikes, sleep may be a little weird. Besides all that, we have the moon. The moon is making the majority of the other connections besides the sun connecting to Neptune. The moon is also connecting in the day to Mars, so Mars already hanging out in Taurus, to Saturn in Capricorn, to Jupiter, 22 degrees, and to Pluto, which is also 22 degrees. So there's several master degrees afoot that are working us. Mercury's hanging out 29 degrees Pisces. Master degrees. There's a master process at hand, asking us to step up into our consciousness. I would say the moon connecting to Jupiter and Pluto are the two things that I really want to address. Moon square Jupiter. Do not get so cocky that you think that you know everything, that you think you know the plan. Leave space for divine possibilities. And this includes in your intentions that you're setting. Because, oh my God, there's so much stuff out there that we don't know. I also have the completion card. And I think this is in regards to Uranus shifting signs. It really is completing a major cycle. And I think we can do it justice by spending a little time going back, looking how far you've come since 2011. Oh my gosh. The things that have changed in my life between then and now, and the dreams that have come true. I think that's always a good thing. Notice what dreams have come true since then. Complete that cycle. Begin anew with some major magic mojo that's going on in the astro. I have the exhaustion card in reverse. Hopefully this means, if you've been feeling sluggish during this Pisces time, that this will be feeling renewal to you. Uranus is 0 degrees. 0 degrees can bring some wonk, so be aware of that. But this is also a call, this card. Notice what you're carrying and if there's anything that you can put down. If you're carrying too much at this time, where can you let go of things so that you can continue forward, continue your journey forward towards the light, unburdened, unfettered. So really be noticing that, because as we clear out space, the universe loves to fill in. So I think I'm going to leave that for now. I know it's a longer scope. I hope you stayed in to listen. Besides that, you can join me on my Patreon. I'm going to be doing a new moon thing. I'm going to try to do it actually right around 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time as the sun meets up with Neptune, setting intentions. Those on Patreon. You can always book a reading with me. Besides that, better gets the better gets. There is more than enough love in the world for you. No such thing as lack, really. And you have the power. Namaste.